Hey guys, it's me, Brandon. Uh, Sorry if my voice sounds a little hoarse this morning. I was out last night rooting for Virginia Tech as they hosted the Miami Hurricanes. Sadly, we lost in epic proportions, but um, no worries. We'll try to pick it back up in a week from Saturday. So, with that, go Hokies. Um, I wanted to talk today about my cooperating teacher. I got to sit down with her a couple days ago when I was in the classroom, and during her planning time, talked to her a little bit about just like her teaching philosophy, um, the Virginia SOLs, what her expectations were for me, and so forth. So, one of the things, it's interesting um, because we live in a day and age where Virginia SOLs, at least for the state here, Common Core is where it seems to be in other areas a hot debate, hot topic for today, for teachers, for state educational departments, for federal education departments, and even local education departments. And while many are really either for or against, or even in some cases indifferent, my cooperating teacher happens to be for the Virginia SOLs, and it's because they give my cooperating teacher guidance and helps with the content and how to go about delivering that content, what's important, what the students need to know. And so I've seen that through my cooperating teachers lectures and activities, and she always refers back to the essential knowledge, the framework, the SOLs and where they align with the lectures and notes and so on and so forth. So just getting to talk to her about that, she, opened up a little more and explain, and something that we've talked about in class before, as a future teacher, um, content and being able to determine, well, what is important for students to know is difficult because there's so much in history and social studies. Um, so it really got me to thinking a lot about that, and then just seeing how she has used the frameworks and um, the essential understandings and knowledge and so forth in her classroom, I think has left a good impression on me as to how I perceive the Virginia SOLs. Because before it was like, oh, they're awful, it's terrible, um, and so forth. And I think it's more the testing is what people get real big about. Some teachers, they don't like care for much for the framework or the way that it's outlined. I myself, though, through my cooperating teacher, have definitely found it to be nice and sort of as a guiding light to what is necessary for students to understand. Something else that my cooperating teacher does that is really phenomenal is her relationship with the students. And so not only is she a good teacher in her lectures and her content knowledge and being patient, she's super relational with her students. And what I mean by that is that they come to her because they can trust her. She's flexible. With meeting their needs if it comes to testing or assignments. She's one that listens to students. That will hear them out, but doesn't really put up with a whole lot. If students are acting up in her classroom, she immediately just nixes that. So it's really cool to see the classroom management that she does in the classroom, but also the way that she pays attention to all the students' needs and where they're at in their lives and so forth. And so that's one of the biggest reasons I began to consider a career in education, because I was this little knucklehead coming up in high school, and I had all this stuff going on, and I felt like no one knew me or no one could understand what I was going through. And the reality is that there's teachers that really want to listen to that and want to help students with those issues and things, and to a limited extent. But still, though, to be able to just be there for the students, to listen to them, to hear what they have to say, it's been really awesome for me to see, and it's really reminded me of why I've decided to get into this career field. Um, so yeah, and a lot of on another note, so stepping back, going back to the planning and logistics of the classroom, um, my supervising teacher's planning has been a little unorthodox, but super cool. So I haven't seen like legit like just lesson plans, but she's just sharp and always just thinking about the next move, whether it's a formative assessment, gauging students' knowledge, gauging students' understandings, and then translating that to or transitioning to summative assessments, being able to test the students, and she always refers back to the SOLs. And she actually incorporates some of the questions from previous SOLs and stuff. So, students begin to think, or take these tests um, with this is what the SOL is going to look like later in the school year. And she always goes back to prior knowledge. She always ties prior knowledge in with what the students are learning. So on a test, it could be 70 question multiple choice. 30 of those are going to be prior knowledge or prior things from recent unit, materials and stuff. And then 40 will be on the current unit. So again, it just prepares the students. They always have to look back, always have to recall information they learned in previous units. It just helped my supervising teacher, with the whole. She doesn't have to cram right before the SOLs, and she told me that a lot of her colleagues and just people that she's known throughout the 50-year career she's had in education, that struggle with that aspect of the SOLs and preparing students for just the cumulative information that they've learned throughout the year. And so super beneficial to be a part of a classroom where that takes place and to see. And then the all of the essay questions are in some form, again, tie with the SOLs, essential understandings and so forth. And so that's just one of her beliefs, is that if they're there, use them. If that's what the SOL is gauging students on, then why not incorporate that into the classroom, into the planning, and into the lessons. So it's been a great year thus far. Tons and tons of experience has been gained on my part. I hope that my supervising teacher has enjoyed me being in the classroom just as much as I have. It's been great getting to know the students. It's been great working with them, educating them, and just trying to figure out, how can we get across some of the barriers that there are in the classroom and with, classroom management and so forth. So I've gotten to do a few lessons, or I've got to instruct on a few of the lessons, and I'm about to work on this project-based learning assignment that my supervising teacher is a part of, and it's like learning in the 21st century. So I'm really looking forward to that. But thanks for listening to me, and I hope you enjoyed this. Can't wait to do it again.